I did not realize that this was disordered eating. I really thought I was just being healthy.
Hello there, my beautiful, beautiful friends, and welcome. So beyond grateful that you're here joining me for this one. Today's video is going to be different than any other one of my videos because I've got some commentary on myself. We're going back into the depths of my videos and making some obvious observations and judgments towards myself and my choices about why I did certain things. And not even why I did them, but just to be like, that was not okay. And I think it's really important as somebody that impacts other people. I'm not just sitting here doing my own thing. People are watching this. I am impacting other people, no matter if it's literally 100 people, 1,000 people, however many people I am impacting. Every single one of these people mattered to me. And I want to just show my respect because I'm young, I'm dumb, I'm gonna make mistakes, but I think it's important to acknowledge those mistakes and really just, try my best to be a morally sound person. I've been diving into the depths of my morality over the last year and a bit, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a hot second, but yeah, this is why I felt called to make this video. Couple notes, this is the video. The link to the video will be down in the description box. However, it has been restricted, so not everyone will have access to the video. And because of that, I am going to bleep out the combination of words leading what order, if you know what I mean. I've got some notes here because I think it's important to recognize this is a serious topic. I did some reflections. I've got the video over here, and I think that's all I got to say for now. Let's dive into it.
I thought I was doing this for the benefit of my body and the benefit of my overall lifespan and quality of life.
So that took a solid 0.2 seconds for me to have some commentary. Why the heck did I advertise my cookbook? Why did I do that? That is not okay. It's literally not okay on this type of video at all. I'm smiling. It's really not funny. It's actually really not funny. So as I mentioned, I've thought a lot about morality over the last year and a bit, and I've dove into philosophy, psychology, religion, just trying to figure out and navigate this thing called life, because I realized I was fundamentally contradicting myself in so many ways. Gotta just call myself out on my own bull to live a happy life. So just a little bit of background of myself over the last year and what I've been doing to figure out my own moral compass is I've read a large portion of the Holy Bible. I've read all of the New Testament and probably about 40 to 45% of the Old Testament. It's a lot. We're working on it, however. I've read a significant part of the Bhagavad Gita, but definitely not as much as the Holy Bible. Again, we're working on it. I've also read all of the Tao Te Ching, which is Taoism or Taoism, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Carl Jung's Philosophy of the Unconscious, Plato's Republic, along with diving into works of Joe Dispenza, David Hawkins, Richard Dawkins, and numerous other thinkers, philosophers, scientists, and just consuming as much information and content as I possibly can. One book I would recommend if you are interested in philosophy is Philosophy 101. This is not an advertisement whatsoever, just a nice little book recommendation. It has so many pillars of philosophy in here in a short, digestible way. So just a little. And now why I think I added that into the video was because money has been a constant stress in my life. Ever since I was brought in the world, that is what I knew money was just a stressor. It was constantly screamed about in my household. My parents, that was the number one fight that they had. I know that's not an uncommon story, but it really, really was a deep pain point in my life. And I think because of that, there was this justification of like, I'm a content creator and this is my job, and content creators have products, and products, you know, good for my financial situation. So this is a video of mine, which I created, and I have a product, so I can put the product into the content because that's what influencers or YouTube people do, is they just put their products into their videos no matter what. But it is not okay. Advertising a cookbook on a weeding little order video is like not productive for anybody. Okay, and another 0.2 seconds of video playing for me to have more commentary. Why did I have an advertisement in this video? That is not okay. Like, I know why. It's because I honestly, guys, started seeing somebody in this month. The month was busy. I had some problems with my anxious attachment style. And because of that, with Squarespace, I had to have 2 videos sponsored by them in a month. And I didn't make that quota if I didn't put that ad into this video. And like, that's why I did it. But like, girl, you should have managed your time better. Girl, you should have had this video, if you really wanted to create it, post it next month. Like, you didn't have to put that advertisement into this video. Like, it's really not okay. This was this is my story, and it should be a lone story that was just meant to help other people or support other people or give company to other people during something difficult, because this is a very, very, very serious topic and it should have been treated as such. No cookbook, no advertisement, and it is against my moral compass.
These are some of the patterns that I thought were healthy, not patterns. Not having salt was protecting me from high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. Not having white potatoes was saving me from carbohydrates, high blood sugar, and weight gain.
Ah! Why did I put food content in the video? Why did I do that? Okay, I know why I did it. I know why I did it. The fear of not having engaging content is actually such a real thing for a content creator. And I was like, okay, a 16-minute long video of me talking, I'm not that interesting. What I have to say is not that interesting. People are just going to click away. People are not going to watch this video. People are not going to think it's fun or entertaining. And I took it from a place of entertainment instead of taking it from the place of seriousness. And so after editing my 16-minute long video of me talking, I was like, I have to make this more engaging. And also, I started filming a what I eat in a week video, which was supposed to be for the advertisement of Squarespace. My time management sucked buttholes because I was seeing a new person at this time and I had some anxious attachment style work to do. If you follow my channel, I think you can probably assume based on the time frame of this video when it was posted who that person was. So it wasn't just some random fling. It was an essential relationship for me to learn and grow and prosper and all of the things. But at the same time, no, it's just a no. It's actually just a no. Great oat pancake recipe though.
So these were some of the patterns that I had that really impacted my life. You may be thinking that some of these patterns are in fact quote unquote better for you, but I want to emphasize that disordered eating is not just your eating patterns, but the mindset that you have around food and the mindset that dictates your eating patterns. So an eating disorder isn't always about the pattern of eating, but how you actually view food, think about food, and how those thoughts impact your eating patterns.
Still to this day, I think that's a super valid way to explain that, but let me know down in the comments what you think.
For someone that has never had an eating disorder or may not even think that they have an eating disorder currently, I would like to point out, I did not realize that this was disorder I really thought I was just being healthy. I thought I was doing this for the benefit of my body and the benefit of my overall lifespan and quality of life. But in fact, they were stemmed from insecurity, lack of knowledge, and lack of balance.
I would also like to add, I think insecurity is a great blanket term, but something that I realized in this journey is that a lot of these patterns stemmed from a lack of self-worth. And as I've grown and learned in life and grown my self-worth and really recognized my inherent value, a lot more patterns that I didn't even recognize were there have fallen away, and I've been able to face a lot more within myself. So many different types of issues, not only to do with food, but other situations in my life as well.
Restriction and telling myself that I couldn't have something was coming from unnecessary obsession. For example, I only went out to eat maybe once or twice a month.
I would say that's like even is an over exaggeration. Like once or twice a month, like my butthole, like if once a month, to be completely honest, like.
And maybe one of those 2 times a month that I'd go out to eat, I'd have the opportunity, I would order something that would have the opportunity for a side of fries, for example. I would always choose the garden salad.
Okay, actually, when I first started creating content, I would say it was like very, very minimal. However, it was the period of time that the world was like shut down. So I will give myself that. But I even remember getting a comment at one point years ago. So funny how comments like stick in your head. Somebody was like, you never go out to eat. Like, why? Like, we know why. But slowly but surely, I felt a little bit more comfortable in going out to eat. But anytime I would, I kind of chose that quote unquote what I perceive to be as the healthier option.
And I also enjoyed praise from other people of choosing the healthier option.
I would also like to say I always cleaned my plate. I think that has a lot to do with how my father implemented eating habits when I was a child, just from some self-reflection. But I think it's also why a lot of people wouldn't assume I had a problem, because I would always eat the amount people would perceive was okay for me to do so, even though in private I wasn't doing that. I think it's probably part of the psychology of why I felt the need to finish my plate in front of other people as well, to like prove something or hide something. I don't know, just some thoughts.
When I would go grocery shopping, like I said, I would spend probably 3 times as long in the grocery store because I was obsessing over every single item on something's ingredient list. I would be Googling, looking at research articles to find out if a specific item that I'd never seen before or I had kind of forgotten about was still okay for me to eat or was unhealthy, if it would give me cancer, if it would give me heart disease, whatever the case may be. I was searching for a reason.
More food content. I'm so sorry. I'm actually so sorry.
And to people I was more familiar with, I would make outward comments about how unhealthy something was for them, how much sodium or sugar something had, how bad just in general something was for them that they were eating, and frankly, how grossed out I was by the food choices that some people were making. And that sometimes led to people seeking validation from me and their food choices. Like they would make a point to show me how healthy their lunch was on a particular day because I had previously judged them.
It just makes me sad, man.
It's time to thank our sponsor, Squarespace.
Oh, Squarespace. We love you, but I'm skipping.
I think it's really important that we talk about where disordered eating begins. And I think for most people, I am going to be talking about girls because that is my experience. I am a woman and
I'm so sorry for the background music. Like this should have no background music.
At 8 and 9, I started to compare myself. We're starting to go through puberty. Other girls in the classroom are starting to maybe grow some boobs or have pubic hair or armpit hair or leg hair, we start to become very aware of our changes and the changes in our bodies. When I was 11, I began on my vegetarian journey, which then led me to be obsessive over food.
Okay, so I'm actually so shocked that I said this in this video. It blew my mind, to be completely honest. Like, I didn't remember that I had reflected on this and realized that this was also a root. Like, I think I just had all of the explanations of why I was doing what I was doing and eating in the way that I was eating at the forefront of my brain. Like, all of the good, positive explanations at the front, and anything else just kind of fell into my subconscious for a period of time, especially the entire time I chose to be plant-based, really. Like, there was a part of me that knew something was not right with it for me, purely on like a eating disorder sense. But I was just shocked that I admitted this. Like, I really am, because it kind of we could predict that from me saying this, eventually I would have to come out of that restrictive diet. And I'm not saying it's a restrictive diet for all people. That is an overstep. But for me, it definitely was. Like, you are eliminating a lot of food groups. And when you do have a eating disorder, having a restrictive diet is like not great for your mindset. So you may not know, last year I decided to change the way that I was eating. I posted a video about it because I felt it was really, really important for me to be transparent about the idea. And since then, I've also shifted and changed and molded myself as well. I could have also made a better video. It's not the best video. I could have elaborated more. I could have explained things better. But I think just in the state of mind that I was during that time, like, I did the best that I could, but maybe I'll make a commentary video on that one just to, I don't know, elaborate or talk a little bit more about it. But yeah, whew.
I did go through a little bit of a quote unquote chubby stage, and as I grew into myself a little bit around the ages of 11 and 12, I thinned out, and that both of those.
Okay, I still don't know how I feel about that type of language. Like, please let me know down in the comments what you think about it. I'm still trying to figure out my moral compass on it, so let me know. Also, my nose is so stuffed in this video.
When I was around the ages of 12 or 13, I heard about the term, and at this time, what was really known to me was anorexia and bulimia. So for me, that's what I really understood about eating, is these almost extreme pictures of what I thought was the definition.
I still think that's so present in today's society. Like, what we understand it to be is like this extreme, where a lot of people, okay, I'm not an expert, I don't know the numbers, I don't know the statistics, but I would assume that most people don't fall into the extreme, but do fall into the category of being like hyper aware of too much and putting way too much emphasis on particular things.
And outwardly judging people on unhealthy food was not in order. Although I started to step into my individuality around the age of 15.
Girl.
One thing that didn't shift was my thoughts on my body and my eating patterns. I was a very boy crazy young girl.
Hey, still am. I'm sorry, bad joke. Just gonna skip a little bit.
And here's the thing. Nobody asked me how my mindset was around food. In fact, I mostly got praise for my eating patterns and my activity levels. Oftentimes, a girl making choices that are outwardly healthy is seen as a very positive thing. She's playing sports, going to the gym, running all the time, and we congratulate her, which continues the negative pattern that she is on. She's doing it to lose weight, to be skinnier, to have a bigger butt, to feel like she's better than other people, not because she loves herself and respects herself.
Okay, I think this is a very sad reality. I don't know how things are in education now, and especially across the world. Obviously, it's different every single place. But like, I wish somebody, like a professional, would go into schools and like talk to people about this, because we all have a relationship with food, because we are all human that need to eat food to live. So I feel like just with the toxic like world that we live in, like a professional needs to talk to young people to like help them understand what is going on in the world around them.
A lot of the things that I was scared of and felt would hurt me, harm me, or make me die faster, or make me gain weight were just false. It's not real, it's not true. Food is so much more than macros and calories. It's a way of life, it's connecting with friends, it's honoring the fact that our earth can grow so many beautiful, fresh things. Hearing other people share their stories online and how brave they were for doing so made me recognize that my way of thought was not good for me. And I really hope that me sharing my honest journey, thoughts, and feelings while going through these things will hopefully help somebody else. I am so grateful for where I am in my food journey.
Okay, so I was saying some really lovely things, and I probably was very happy with where I was at during this time with my food journey, but that does not mean I had it all figured out. And I should have specified that. I should have clarified that. I should have said that. And I think that there is like an underlying tone here of me thinking that I actually did have it all figured out. And I was like at this prime healed space where in the reality of life, like if you struggle with something, there's probably going to be like a little tinge of lingeringness through your entire life in some senses. Maybe not in all cases, but in difficult times, if you use something as a coping mechanism and that's been your coping mechanism for like a very, very long time, it's going to take a very, very long time to get out of that. And so although I made a lot of shifts and a lot of changes and a lot of like recognizing that I needed to fix things, does not mean I had it all figured out. And I think I did think I had it all figured out. And it took a lot to shake me with like a year of travel, a lot of stress in a short period of time that just like all shook me to my core, made me depressed, made me realize that I was using food as a coping mechanism again. I'm probably going to reflect on this video in like 5 years and be like, yeah, she didn't have it all figured out either. And like, that's part of it. Like, it is not a straight path. It is a winding road. And sometimes you reach the peak of a mountain to realize that there's another one to climb. And then you have to walk all the way down and then all the way, like it's a journey. Just know that just because somebody is sharing their journey online does not mean they have it all figured out. Life is long. That wraps up today's video. Please let me know if you see anything in the previous video or in this video that I could do better on. Of course, like everyone has their own judgments. I can't fall into everyone's idea of perfection. I'm trying my best here, but yeah, just let me know if you have any thoughts, comments, or also just like back to research papers or knowledge or book recommendations. Like drop it all down in the comments. And yeah, I hope to learn, I hope to grow, I hope to share this entire journey with you. And well, I'm not hoping, I would like to, that's what I'm trying to do here, is just be open and transparent. I'm not perfect, I'm a human, I'm gonna make mistakes. It's not an excuse, it's just a matter of fact. But I'm really, really working on figuring out my moral compass, figuring out the best way to navigate this internet space. Yeah, my own personal life. Trying to juggle all of the balls, as a boy crazy girl. No, I can't. But I love you. I appreciate you. I hope to see you again so very soon. If you could, hit the like and subscribe button. No pressure, but it does help my channel out. And have a beautiful rest of your day. Well,